once y'all egos get bruised,
I'm honest.
Yeah, it's not even just that. I feel like when respect is lost, the relationship.
Yeah, no.
How bruised is my ego if you saying my dick little, but I'm still fucking?
Because
so
you might feel some type of way about what I said, and then our relationship never be the same after that. And then men, even though it's weird, right? What I'm about to say, it is not really weird, but it's really the dynamic. Women can really control the whole dynamic of their relationship, but they don't know how to, right? And then we can make y'all feel like y'all in control, but y'all really not in control, right? But even when you think you in control,
toxic
femininity. That's what that is.
No, it is.
Oh my God. Welcome back to Money, Marriage, and Media. I'm Mike, your host, and today we are back with Daily Wrap-Up Crew. Modern women lack this skill in relationships. I'm hoping that we get to talk about, let's just go ahead and start it.
You speaking about communication, right? Who do you think, and I just want to ask everybody this, who do y'all think is better at communication, men or women?
Men.
Oh, damn.
That's surprising.
That was surprising. I
did not expect to hear that.
It's more logical.
Wow.
Yeah. This just goes back to when I was saying, like, having that emotional maturity, like having a conversation that's hard and not just straight crying.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you when sometimes some women, I've been there, I ain't gonna lie, like I've been mad emotional and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like later and I'm like, I really was boo-hooing, like, what was I crying for?
Nothing.
I feel like women are better in a situation where they feel safe. As long as I feel safe, I can communicate. But if I don't feel safe, it's like talking to a wall.
That doesn't even make sense. Like,
really?
When I'm thinking about,
if I feel safe enough to communicate how I feel, it's because I feel vulnerable enough to talk about it. If I don't feel safe, I don't talk.
So you're in a relationship, shouldn't you feel safe
That's
automatically?
That's my point. Like, in my relationship, I feel safe, so I talk.
Yeah. I think we're speaking in the aspects of a relationship. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
I ain't saying you just some random guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just talking about in the confines of a relationship who you think is better at communicating.
Then yeah. I mean, I feel like I have better communication than him personally. Because I'm just better at, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, giving him the word, like, actually speaking on exactly, like, articulating my sentences really well. Where he'll kind of struggle to tell me exactly what he's looking for from me. I feel like I articulate myself better. But I went to
wait a minute. Here we go.
For communication and conflict, so that might be why.
Or it could be she's just better at public speaking than he is. I think what another thing that we never factor into when we have the communication concept. I mean, obviously, women are more socially aware because they have to be, because they're the weaker sex. So it makes them we're raising our daughters to be more aware of their surroundings, especially when there's no men around that are there to protect them. Right. That's why women tend to follow the group, because there's safety in numbers, right? But also, I think what's going on here is, in her particular case, this guy may just not be that good at communication, because, the question was very broad and general, but if you notice, they're going to their each individual experiences. Now, I've always said that men mature faster than women do mentally, because we are expected to have better control of our emotions, whereas a lot of times we are raising our daughters to be able to experience everything, to wear their emotions on their sleeve. And as a woman, you do have that benefit. That is something that women get and that men don't. As a man, you don't have the opportunity. You don't have the luxury of doing that, because again, if you're in the leadership role, that stuff, you don't have time for that. In times of crisis and things like that, your family, your wife and your family are looking to you to come up with the plan for how you're going to get out of that. Yes, you can have, I would say you need to, if something, when things turn to crap, take you a few minutes to, you can get out whatever you need to get out. Maybe you need to do it by yourself or with your wife, but it's a limited time that you get to vent about and complain and whine about things. And once that time is over, now it's time to problem solve. We need critical thinking skills. We need a plan on how we're going to get ourselves out of this mess. But again, that's a short period of time. Maybe you do it. More productive thing to do would be to do it with your guy friends. Now, No, that's not more productive. That's an alternative, depending on what it is, because marital issues need to be discussed in the confines of a marriage. Now, you may have to seek outside counsel, but even then, I would say stay away from your guy friends who are not married. If you don't have another husband that you can talk to who has more experience than you, then it's kind of like you and your wife are going to have to just work through it. But I would say seek the counsel of another married man who has more experience than you do, and then bring it to your wife, because that way, that way she is not going to be distracted by the fact that you don't know what you're doing, because now you've sought counsel and you're there to get. You're coming with not a plan that's ready to execute, but you're still in the planning stages of it, and because you have an outline of how the problem can get solved, it still requires her input, which means that her counsel is still valuable to you. Too many times I think that we as husbands often, we are trying to solve the problem without bringing it to our wives. And sometimes, granted, with small things, that's often preferred. But when you have, what we're talking about here is when things start going downhill and they're turning bad fast, then you do need to enlist their counsel, because a lot of times this is one of those situations where women do want the truth because they want to feel like that they had a part in it. They had something to say. You value their opinion and what can happen. They want to be kept abreast of things. Small things, not so much, because if you can solve it without bringing it to their attention, then a lot of times women are going to be relieved in the fact that they didn't have to do anything. But let's keep going.
That's probably.
I went to school for it, so I feel like I'm better at speaking.
I feel like it's all about the approach. That's with men, it's about the approach, and then because I feel like men know how to say exactly what they want, what they feel straight from the gate, and then we just be making up what we want to think that they saying.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then we make up what we want them to be saying. And then but I feel
surprised she
when
admitted
they
to
get
that.
addressed, like it feels like an attack. Like if it's an immediate address, it's better to say, "Can we talk?" than to be let me tell you what, just straight go into it. I'm a fan of, can we talk? And if you be like, no, I'll be like, all right, cool. We could wait until you're ready to talk, because I'm not about to pressure you to talk. But if you ready, when you're ready to talk, we can talk. But then it's going to be so much of that, no, you're not ready to talk, because then the communication falls apart and we're not going to be, not going to work.
So why do you think, because y'all
that's actually respectable.
Well, except for you, because obviously your degree and stuff like that. But why do y'all think women are poor or bad communicators, I should say? Why do you think that is?
Our emotions sometimes.
The emotions.
Everything is emotion based.
You on fire right
really
now.
incredibly
honest.
Fire right now.
I expected more pushback. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't even got to talk this show. I'm about to go over there.
So, Sterling, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with these lovely ladies. We are better at communicating. I'll take that W. But
settle down.
But what I'll like to emphasize that, a couple of practical examples, right? For the gentlemen in the room, a show of hands for everyone. Four guys here, three behind the panel, right here.
Yeah.
Have you ever had women text you, "Hey"?
Yeah.
Raise your hands. Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
Everybody in the room.
Not too much.
The hell is that? That isn't communication.
Right.
All the "hey" is pay attention. What it actually means is pay attention to me,
right?
And give me start a conversation with me.
Exactly.
That's all that is.
That means you should have started the conversation. That what that?
Exactly. Now you got to carry the conversation.
That's it. Bingo. Men have to carry the goddamn conversation in the first place,
and then get another one-word answer,
but
and then say, "He ain't got no conversation."
The hey is, I was waiting for you to hit me up all day and you didn't.
That's what I'm
saying. I'm trying to understand why you ain't hit me up. And now that you hit me back, now I'm mad. I don't even want to.
But you say that.
But you understand where the communication issue is. You could have just said, "Hey, why didn't you write me all day?"
Or you could have just said,
I'll tell you
what's
why,
up? What are you
because
doing?
it would be humbling. It'd be too humbling for her to admit that to the guy. So she won't say.
I can sum this up pretty quick. Discovery trumps disclosure. So in that situation, when they send you those one-word texts, they're hoping that you will figure out the fact that, oh, I need to talk to her. I need to give her some attention. I forgot to pay my lady some attention. So let me go ahead and start the conversation up because she's in the mood to talk to me. Versus she's just having to come out and tell you that, yeah, I'm missing you right now, and can you talk to me, please? So it's not as potent when they have to do that. I get it, guys. That would make it a whole lot easier, but discovery trumps disclosure. So it is 100%. That's the woman thinking about how she feels and how she's trying to give you the opportunity to change how she's feeling, her opinion about you at that moment. Now, is there a lot of opportunities for you to do that? Absolutely. But it's just one of many. But again, discovery trumps disclosure. She would rather you figure it out on your own than have to tell you. And the crazy thing is guys do this too. But the difference is that we do it for different things. With women, it's a communication thing. They don't want to have to tell you. They'd rather you figure it out through social calibration, which ironically is not for men is not on the same level as women. That's why I think a lot of women mess up in this process is that, we keep thinking that we're the same and he'll just figure it out because I would have figured it out by now. But that's not how we work. Remember, relationships are about balance. So if you're good at this, then chances are the guy's not going to be good at that. Because if he is, you're looking at it like, okay, well, I do this already and I don't really need you to do that. So, that's when you get into that whole, that's why men have a problem dating masculine women. Because if you're going to be masculine, well, what do you need me here for? Just go be by yourself. I'm not looking for that. The man is thinking, well, I'm already masculine. I'm not looking for that. I got that in abundance. That's not valuable to me. It's kind of the same thing, but let's move on.
Before we went through that 1,000 times, we were like, she hit me up. We had it until we realized that's not a good text. You know what I'm saying? Like, you about to be in some shit, bro.
Even in the even when we talk about like sex, right? We have women on the show plenty of times say, if a guy isn't performing well in bed, they won't tell him what he should improve in because they feel like there's his ego and stuff like that. And even with something like that, men are saying, hey, you know what? Every woman is different. You get what I'm saying? I might have knocked out the park with the last shorty, but maybe you your pussy like to be ate differently. Like you get what I'm saying? Like you don't like too much sucking. You want you know what I'm saying? So when men are saying, well, we want y'all to communicate more, y'all like, well, you should know my body, and I expect you to already know what you're doing. Even that's a form of poor communication. Like you know what I mean?
I won't tell.
I'm telling you.
You won't tell?
No.
Again, discovery trumps disclosure. She would rather find out that you are great at sex than having to tell you about it. It doesn't mean they won't tell you because, again, I would recommend to the ladies that you do tell your man that you're in a committed relationship, preferably, that how he can step his game up for sex with you. I'd rather you tell him that than just sit there and he's just bad and you just pumping his ego up and he ain't really doing nothing, because that is a recipe for that man to step out on you. Just saying.
Why not? How you gonna fix it?
I feel like I'm slightly timid, so I'm just like.
But you going?
I get that vibe. Like,
so you gonna leave yourself unsatisfied for how long before you think you would say it?
Anyway.
Oh yeah, that was bad. No, maybe I'll take the lead and then he'll learn. I will do it like this. I don't feel comfortable like, yo, that was whack. I don't even know how to have that conversation.
You don't gotta do that.
I don't know how to have the conversation. So it's like, I'd rather avoid it.
All you gotta do is say what you like, not what you dislike.
Yeah.
Say what you like. That's it. Positive reinforcement. That's it.
Or you can show him videos of, you see.
Yeah,
you can send him one of Sterling's videos. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll send his videos.
That's a good idea.
I just send the clip. He's got tons. Just send clips.
Yeah.
Like
I do that
anything.
shit
It's
too.
like,
No,
it's
I'm
a
not
good
gonna do
idea.
that.
Like what?
Oh
You're not doing that
God.
either? God damn. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna
No,
lie.
sending the
out.
clips is a good idea.
You're doing
We'll figure it
you're
out.
doing yourself a disservice.
We'll figure it out.
Doing
I
yourself a
just do
disservice.
subtle clips and hints
That's
of like,
it, man.
hey,
Try this.
But if you giving your body to this person, why aren't you comfortable enough to communicate with that person?
I don't want him to feel like I'm belittling him, so I just...
Great freaking question. That's a great question. If you're going to give your body to a man that you can't even openly communicate with, what is wrong with this? What's wrong with this picture here? That was the question of the episode right there. That is a great question. You probably shouldn't be with that man. If you're not comfortable having basic conversation with them, what are you doing? What are we doing? If you can't talk to me about this, then we probably shouldn't be having sex. I mean, the guy's probably going to move on at that point. But again, if you don't trust him enough to have those conversations, he might not be the right guy for you, unless he's willing to wait to have sex with you until you are comfortable enough to have those conversations. Now, that's a different topic right there. Because generally what happens is that I think what's going on here is that these ladies, the other two, this lady in white, she might not have I don't think the same level of, because she says she's shy. So there's a chance that she is less experienced than the other two. Now, that may be good, but it also may be bad, because one of the things that at some point we're going to have a conversation about is women who are, they're uncomfortable talking, so because they don't have relationship skills. Now that happens when you have women who are incels, because they weren't raised to work in cooperation with a man, so their lack of experience with men can be very off-putting. That's a whole topic in itself. I don't want to go there because I don't think that's where the conversation is going. So let's just keep going.
Just send
men want they women to be satisfied. That's what men want to communicate.
Yeah,
I don't want
to.
I don't want to incorrectly though come across like I didn't like this. Do this. So
okay, easy. I would love it if you did this to me. Simple as that.
Simple as that. Sounds weird.
But see how I phrase that.
I'll continue sending the clips.
Wait, talk. I just say that. I just say that.
You didn't say that. But that sounds weird to me. Like I just can't imagine like saying that.
And you know what?
Headphones on. What are you talking about?
You know what I find a huge contradiction? Because you guys are so scared to tell y'all man when he not pleasing you during the time. But as soon as y'all got an argument, y'all love to say that dick is weak and that dick is little.
Oh, yeah.
So y'all got the energy for that.
I'm definitely not that girl.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
I'll come back if you going to let me hit.
If that's not them, that's actually impressive, because most of the time, women will tend to hold grudges specifically for that reason, because they will load up the ammunition when things are happening, and then when it's time, they will use that. This is one of the reasons why a lot of men have problems being vulnerable or discussing personal issues with their women, because later down the line they're throwing it back in their face. Ladies, you can't do that. You want this man to stick around, then you can't bring up the past. Especially if it's something that you've already worked through. Especially if he took the time to be vulnerable with you. Because that he's just going to clam up and you're never going to hear from him again. He's not going to be honest with you about most things. So if you want that level of honesty, there has to be some things where you just, you throw it in the vault and y'all don't discuss it anymore. Especially if the issue is resolved. You can't bring it up again. It's the same thing with guys, but guys tend not to have that problem, because most of the time guys we like to solve problems, and once we solve with it, we don't want to have to bring it back up again. That means that it wasn't solved, and we got to go back and fix it again. And no, I got enough problems currently on my plate. I'm not trying to go back and fix something, because that means that I have to pop everything else. No, it just doesn't. To us, the men, it doesn't make sense to do that. But let's keep going.
I feel like
No, because when y'all egos get bruised,
it's not even just that. I feel like when respect is lost, the relationship.
Yeah, no.
How bruised is my ego if you saying my dick little, but I'm still fucking?
Because
so
you might feel some type of way about what I said, and then our relationship never be the same after that. And then men, even though it's weird, right? What I'm about to say, it is not really weird, but it's really the dynamic. Women can really control the whole dynamic of their relationship, but they don't know how to, right? And then we can make y'all feel like y'all in control, but y'all really not in control, right? But even when you think you in control,
toxic
femininity. That's what that is.
No, it is.
Oh my God.
I do agree with her too.
It's a little bit, because I could say something like, you know what, I would love some flowers, and I ask you to buy me flowers. But if I say I would love flowers, and then one day you just buy me flowers, it's like in your subconscious now, and I make you do that. Like,
so should we I would love some pussy right now.
I would love some.
That's the thing, and it'll be like,
I would love a threesome right now.
I love a threesome.
Gotta manifest it. You gotta manifest it. That's
manifested. Okay, again, you know what? We're going to end this clip here because ultimately what they're really talking about now is discovery trumps disclosure. She mentioned flowers one day and you get her some flowers. Now, I don't recommend you do that just because, well, you know what? No. I'd say if you guys are being exclusive to each other, I would say try it a couple times. Most women are not flowers aren't as big as a deal as they make it out to be, because most of the time what you need to, if it's a big deal for your lady, judge by how, you don't judge it based off what she tells you, right? You judge it by what her reaction is to having the flowers that she didn't directly ask you for. See, if her behavior changes because of the flowers and she is reciprocating things, then every now and then you're going to have to get her some flowers, right? And I would say, and there's ways you can do that too. I'm sure that one of the things you could try, pro tip for you guys out there, right, is try going to like a local florist and see if you can set up like something like an account with them. That way you can possibly get them to send you like reminders or something like that, so you can set it up in advance that in case you forget, like special holidays, or she's got a big promotion at work that she may be getting or something like that, or it's just because, well, I want to use a local florist because now I can communicate with them. I got them saved in my phone, so if better yet, if there's something that I screwed up and I haven't gotten her flowers in a while, or she did something nice for me, I want to have that basically saved in my phone. Call them up. Okay, yeah, I need some flowers. Can you deliver it to, at her job in front of her all her coworkers? It's a nice touch. Or have it when she gets home and they're waiting at the door for her to come in, something like that, right? But the whole point is, discovery trumps disclosure. It may not be flowers. It may be something else that she likes. But this is a situation where you need to get to know your woman. Because why? Because these are all things that rack up under the umbrella of relationship skills. Remember, relationships are about balance. If you want this woman to treat you good, right, then you have to offer things once you're in a committed relationship that in her eyes raise your value, because she's never had a guy do this for her. Now, again, this is not when you're dating, okay? Dating is dumb. When you're in an exclusive relationship, little things like that can go a long way. But guys, great discussion here. Shout out to Sterling, the corn star. I'm not going to say what it actually is because I still can't remember if that word's YouTube sensitive or not. But we're still trying to grow, so we still need 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you like the video on your way out. I'm going to say goes to the next time. Peace.